is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to make sure you never miss the latest from the Disney theme parks all around the world. Coming up, the news for December 29th, 2025. But first, I have several very big announcements I want to talk to you about. First of all, on Wednesday's show, I'm announcing now that there will be more announcements on Wednesday, and they are very big for the future of this channel and several others. In fact, later this week, we're going to be launching 2 new channels where some of the programming from this channel is going to be going over there. There's going to be brand new shows, as we promised you when we announced News Tonight was ending a couple months ago. There are a lot of changes on the way for our channels and our YouTube content, and I will let you know all about that this coming Wednesday. But the thing I wanted to also on Wednesday, we're going to talk about another event we have coming up, a chance to meet some fantastic former Disney Imagineers who made a tremendous attraction happen. More on that Wednesday. Today's announcement, though, is that we have put on sale our very first ever WDW News Today Cruise event. Break out the logo, guys. Quote from Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. It is the History on the High Seas, a WDWNT Cruise. It is a first of its kind event. We, of course, planned a WDWNT Cruise back in 2020. For obvious reasons, that did not happen. We are now trying again, and this time it is unlike anything anyone has done before because it is a celebration of the history of Disney Cruise Line. That's such an important part of who we are here at WDWNT, is respecting and admiring and preserving the legacy of these incredible places we love to go. And that's what this event is really, truly about. It is about getting together the Imagineers and the people who put together Disney Cruise Line from the very beginning. And we're very excited about this. We have individuals who worked on Castaway Cay and brought the island to life. We're going to do a walking tour of the island with them to learn all the secrets and history that's there. We're going to learn about the development of Disney Cruise Line from the days of the Big Red Boat all the way through to the development of the magic and the wonder, and so much more about the development, again, of DCL. This event is taking place on the Disney Fantasy. It's a 5-night cruise, September 25th through September 30th, 2026. The Imagineer that is going to give us a tour of Castaway Cay is Jane Alcorn, who was involved in that. She also she worked on Typhoon Lagoon, and that's why she got the job on Castaway Cay. There's a really cool story there. And then also signed on so far, Jay Miller, who was a senior project manager at the Disney Development Company, who was instrumental in making Cruise Line happen. More names, hopefully, to be announced very, very soon. But you can go sign up at events.wdwnt.com. There is going to be an afternoon of presentations. Also, we've gotten some event space on board the Fantasy. And so on one of the sea days that's happening. But also, again, that walking tour of Castaway Cay. And the other cool thing about this itinerary is it goes to both Castaway and Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point. It's a really good, it's the perfect length. I think I just came off of a 4-night cruise on the Disney Dream, and I was like, I wish I had one more day. And this is 1 day longer. I think it's perfect itinerary. The pricing for double occupancy is $1,998 per person. Yes, $1,998. Single occupancy, $3,498. Deposit of 50% is due at time of booking, and final payment due on March 1st, 2026. Yes, I'm an old person, and I have a Post-it note for all this information, despite having a teleprompter right there. I'm very good at what I do. But yes, History on the High Seas is now available for booking. We have only we have a limited number of staterooms, and this was open to our WIGS members first over the weekend, and I think I want to say a good third of the rooms booked over the weekend. So we do expect, similar to the Japan trip, this to be sold out in very short order. So head over to events.wdwnt.com to find out more information, and we hope to see you on board. All right, now let's get to today's news. Although real quick, I do want to mention, if you're wondering where the Gertie cam is, well, there is no more Gertie cam. Here she is. She's deflated. Do you know why? She's sold out. They're gone. There are no more. So thank you to the 1,000 of you who bought the inflatable giant Gerties. We appreciate the support. We love that you've sent us photos throughout the holiday season showing us where you put your Gertie, whether it was inside the home where she hit her head on the ceiling or outside in actual snow, which got me a little teary-eyed because, you know, real Gertie has fake snow on her back, but she's never seen real snow. So it's cool that one of her children has gotten to see, several of her children now have gotten to see real snow. And of course, in a Lynn, Massachusetts parade, there was actually a Gertie on a flatbread, which ended up in also as part of a tribute to Adam the Woo. which was really touching because I know Adam's favorite park, the park he had a great affinity for, was Disney MGM Studios. So that was kind of a beautiful full circle moment for sure. So thank you all to everyone who supported the product, everyone who owns it. We hope you enjoy it for many, many years to come. And yeah, but they're gone. I'm sorry if you missed it. I only mentioned it 47 times on this program. So I'm sorry if you missed it. We're currently not planning to order them again. We'll see what happens. But that may be all. But thank you again to everybody who adopted a Santa Gertie this Christmas. Now the news. A woman is suing Disney World for $50,000 after she tripped and fell over the trolley tracks at the Magic Kingdom. The lawsuit was filed by Rhonda Smith of Frankfort, Kentucky against Walt Disney Parks and Resorts. It was filed on December 22nd in the Florida Circuit Court in Orange County. She claims the trolley tracks did not adequately have marked steel rails and flangeways near a castle attraction. That's the wording they used. It caused her to trip and fall, resulting in permanent injuries and substantial medical expenses. The lawsuit explains that on October 24, 2025, at approximately 5 p.m., she was in the vicinity of the embedded tracks for a trolley or train on Main Street, USA. These create changes in level, edges, and gaps where the rail meets the surrounding ground. She claims that the area lacked adequate warnings, guardrails, cones, stanchions, or other measures necessary to protect guests from tripping hazards associated with the embedded track during nighttime crowd conditions and parade operations. It should be noted that the sun does not set until approximately 7:45 p.m. in October. Her foot caught on or in the embedded track adjacent paver interface, causing her to trip and fall and sustain serious injuries, according to her claim. Now, who among us has not at some point in their life tripped on the trolley tracks? Now, yeah, I guess someone could seriously trip and fall. You could also seriously trip and fall off of a curb, which still exists in the parks, but less so than they have. For those unfamiliar, when the Magic Kingdom opened, like the hub and all that, those had curbs. So that whole hub in the middle, that was raised. And as people took dives over the years off that curb, Disney slowly started to eliminate them, especially, look, all the Disney parks around the world, it's happened a little bit. Magic Kingdom, more than any, they have flattened curbs a lot in the last 15 or 20 years. So the whole hub got flattened, man, 10 years ago, a little more than 10 years ago now, somewhere in that vicinity. And so now they're coming for the trolley track. So the question will be, will this bring about change, and how ugly will that change be? Because any of the things just mentioned, stanchions, cones, markings on the ground, etc., are going to go against the thematic integrity of Main Street USA, which will make all of us very, very sad. So I hope that doesn't happen. Now, I don't want anyone to get hurt either, but the fact is that this park has existed for 54 years now, and I don't know how many trolley track lawsuits there have been. And I don't know that one $50,000 one is going to be enough to do away with the thematic integrity of Main Street. I would be surprised if the lawyers, usually, look, Disney lawyers usually win those fights. Look what happened at Toontown at Disneyland, where they had staircases that went to nowhere because they had to take slides away. They had to get rid of ball pits. The lawyers have done their fair share of damage to the Disney parks over the years. I don't think this is a fight they're going to win. I don't think, even at Disney World, I don't know that they're going to say, hey, maybe we should, alter the park to make sure people don't trip on trolley tracks anymore. Although the saddest outcome would be, could you imagine they get rid of the trolley because of this? I don't think this suit is enough to do it, and it's unclear how bad her condition was, like how hard did she fall, how injured is the claimant. I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm hoping nothing comes of this. If she got hurt and they want to settle, whatever. It's the Walt Disney Company. They'll make that on churros in the next 40 minutes. So give her the money, make this go away, and let's keep Main Street. Let me know in the comments, do you think this should happen? I don't. I think people just need to watch where they're going and watch where they're stepping. Or maybe, one fair point is, I think lighting could be a little better leading up to and after nighttime spectaculars. That would be the one thing that makes the most sense to me. But again, this happened in broad daylight, so I think it's kind of on her. But either way, let's move on. During the Disney Parks Magical Christmas Day Parade on ABC, Disney shared a first look inside the updated Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin at Magic Kingdom. In the scene directly after guests load the attraction, you'll be introduced to Buddy, a support bot whose job it is to make sure Space Rangers are ready for their mission. Guests will have a chance to do some target practice. Buddy does have 4 interactive targets that it is a she, we've learned, that she is holding for guests to practice with before they go into the formal attraction. Of course, the attraction will be filled with brand new targets that light up and interact with the blasters, which are now handheld, by the way. You're getting entirely new vehicles with this update too. In the special, though, a quick glance at the figure was shared by Kimberly Allison, a producer at Walt Disney Imagineering. She led Christopher Copeland, a Walt Disney World VIP tour guide, into the attraction. The attraction, of course, has been closed since August for this overhaul, including those new vehicles, blasters, and targets. The reimagined ride will open in the spring of 2026. No actual opening date just yet. We just know spring. But this is exciting. I think Buddy looks great. I'm excited. New original park character. This has been a cool thing as of late. Even though we're getting all these IP rides, Disney Imagineering's gotten the chance to create new characters that inhabit these film worlds. Tiana's Bayou Adventure comes to mind. Of course, I love Larry the Armadillo very, very much. And now we're getting Buddy added to the world of Toy Story and the Buzz Lightyear canon, if you will. I like it. It looks good. I'm excited for this update. According to cast members at TRON Light Cycle Run at the Magic Kingdom, the TRON Aries overlay will end sometime in January. Cast members did not have an exact date as to when it would end. They just said sometime next month it will happen. Of course, the TRON Aries overlay debuted back in September, a month before the film hit theaters. The ride's blue lights were replaced by red, which is reflected on the updated on-ride photo as well. It received new master control narration and set to 9 Inch Nails movie soundtrack from TRON Aries. I love this overlay. I'm sad it's going away, but the movie didn't really do great, and it's probably time for the ride to get back to normal. I hope this comes back. If only someone, in the fall, someone on this channel, someone commented that there should just be a Halloween overlay every year, and I love that idea. I think that'd be great. Costs nothing. It's 0 time to install. This should be a yearly thing. Pete Silly's Sideshow is now closing 1 day earlier than previously announced at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. The Pete Silly Sideshow Circus tent will be temporarily unavailable beginning on January 4th, 2026. Originally, it was going to close starting January 5th. Minnie Mouse, Daisy Duck, Donald Duck, and Goofy will greet guests elsewhere in Storybook Circus in the meantime. Disney has not confirmed any more details about those moved meet and greets just yet. But you bet your bottom dollar we will be there that day to show you what's going on. The construction site for Piston Peak and Villains Land at Magic Kingdom is being cleared out to make way for those new themed areas. Recent aerial photos from BioReconstruct have showcased the site clearing underway for both the Piston Peak National Park, the Cars area of Frontierland, and the Villains Land at Magic Kingdom. Of course, the former Rivers of America is now completely gone, that concrete bottom replaced with just dirt now, while the shape of Tom Sawyer Island is still visible in the construction area, albeit with sand and what might be gravel taking its place. The area meant for Piston Peak appears to have been completely cleared, with several large pieces of machinery visible now. The land stretches from Big Thunder Mountain Railroad to the Haunted Mansion across that front end of the river. A similar story can be told at the site of Villains Land, where the large patch of dirt marks where the future land will be. The clearing for Villains Land stretches all the way back to behind It's a Small World, behind the Haunted Mansion, all the way to that next show building. Some other developments can be seen from the air when it comes to what will be backstage areas. The arrow points to a tunnel that connects new ponds for water management. Work is well underway, though. Again, we don't know when either of those lands will be complete. We just know both will be done before the end of 2030 is what we were told. The Liberty Belle riverboat has recently been moved after several months in the same spot. This suggests it may be ready for work out of the water. In late July, the Liberty Belle riverboat and the Tom Sawyer Island rafts were moved to another area of the Magic Kingdom service canal across from the construction staging areas in progress west of Magic Kingdom. In August, it was moved to a backstage area just north of the park where it has remained ever since. But now the ferry boat has been removed and the Liberty Belle riverboat has backed up slightly to a spot where a ramp can pull it out of the water. This move suggests Disney may be ready to do something with it. What that will be, who knows? The last time we were allowed to talk to Imagineers about this project, they said they were talking to their partners at Walt Disney World to see what the future of the riverboat could be. Was that just a nice way of saying we haven't got anyone to commit to saving this thing? Probably. So will the riverboat live on in some way, or is it about to be destroyed? We'll wait and see. A new permit filed by Walt Disney Imagineering is for the installation of set elements at the Haunted Mansion at Magic Kingdom. The notice of commencement is for 1600 Magic Kingdom Drive, the address of the Haunted Mansion in Liberty Square. It contracts Mecca Productions to install set elements. Mecca is a design, fabrication, and installation firm that frequently collaborates with Imagineering. A permit from Imagineering usually means more thematic updates rather than standard maintenance, but sometimes it can be that too. Disney has not announced any changes for the Haunted Mansion, and the permit may not be for anything major or anything we can see, but we'll share what we find when and if something happens. Either way, there is, of course, ongoing construction next to the Haunted Mansion, as we just talked about, but this sounds like it's inside. Are there changes coming? Is the new bride coming? I could see the bride changes happening. It seems like Disney has wanted to distance themselves from Constance Hatchaway and that character. There's been new bride merchandise where it's the new bride. She doesn't have the hatchet. And over time, we've seen that the changes at Disneyland often then become the changes at Disney World because they want to sell the same merchandise and use the same marketing at both resorts, and it's hard to do that when the rides are different. So the Hatbox Ghost was a long journey, but again, in order to make that character relevant to the Florida audience, he got added, not in the right place, but he got added nonetheless. So this could be nothing. It could be the bride. We'll have to wait and see. That's the reoccurring theme of today's show. We're waiting to see what is actually going to happen with any of these stories. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, Be Our Guest Vacations. Your dream vacation begins with Be Our Guest and their concierge team of expert vacation planners. Head on over to WDWNT.travel, and their team will design your next magical vacation, from the Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resorts to Disney Cruise Line to Adventures by Disney and more. And the best part is their concierge services are 100% free, so book today. With over 100 artists exhibiting their work, the EPCOT International Festival of the Arts can be overwhelming. And to help you plan, we put together a full guide featuring examples of artwork from every artist that will be featured at the 2026 event. You can visit WDWNT.com for the full breakdown. The EPCOT International Festival of the Arts takes place January 16th through February 23rd, 2026. Very, very soon. The Voices of Liberty, of course, performed their special Echo sets at EPCOT for Christmas Eve, the first time they had done so since 2019. During an Echo set, some performers stand on the ground floor of the American Adventure Rotunda as usual, but other performers sing from the second floor balcony, amplifying the music. I call it Voices of Liberty with perimeters. Either way, you can watch the full show from December 24th right here on our channel. It's a great way to spend a little bit of your holiday season. An aerial overview of Animation Courtyard shows construction work that is taking place behind the scenes and away from guests at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Currently, prep work is underway for foundation and utilities. Photos from BioReconstruct show what is going on behind the scenes. We have been sharing frequent updates to the space, but the aerial overview provides a different insight. Currently, safety netting surrounds several areas in the work site. The aerial photos also show several large holes that are dug into the ground in between the two show buildings, as well as a square shape surrounded by what appears to be scaffolding, which is likely for some type of foundation work. A trench is currently being dug around the show building in the photo you're seeing now. Piles of dirt, construction equipment, and an excavator are scattered throughout the area. In the close-up photo here, of the front of the now extinct Star Wars launch bay, you can see the footers that are now in place for the Sorcerer hat. Except for the Little Mermaid, a musical adventure, the Animation Courtyard has been completely closed since September to make way for the new attractions. The area is being reimagined into a space themed to the Walt Disney Studios in California, which will include a new version of the Magic of Disney Animation, as well as a new Disney Junior show. The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse show that debuted in California this year is coming to Florida next summer. Gonzo's Royal Flush is Gonzo. It's gone. The themed restroom signage has been removed from the Muppets Courtyard building in Disney's Hollywood Studios. The large 3D Gonzo's Royal Flush letters used to sit atop the green awning over the restroom entrances, based on the business's sign in The Muppets, the 2011 film. The faded Broadway plumbing lettering was still visible as part of the theming, suggesting Gonzo had taken over an old plant. Here's what the building looked like with the signage prior to the closing. Muppets Courtyard, of course, being rethemed to Monstropolis from Monsters, Inc. The Gonzo's Royal Flush, Pizza Rizzo, and Muppet Vision 3D buildings will all remain, but will have new monstrous venues. Meanwhile, towards the back of the site, crews have poured concrete for most of the floor of the new Monsters, Inc. roller coaster show building. Aerial photographer BioReconstruct shared the pictures on X over the weekend. And since our last aerial look, crews have poured more concrete, almost filling the rectangle carved out for the new ride building. The foundation is set several feet into the ground where there used to be a cast member parking lot behind Muppets Courtyard. Construction vehicles are lined up along the edge of the construction zone. Some tarps cover the concrete that was most recently poured. At the top of the photo, crew members are preparing concrete forms for another section of flooring, and they are using an excavator to move dirt out of the way. The concrete pillars at the top were created by drilling holes with an auger, then filling them with concrete. Dirt was then excavated around the pillars, and they were cut to the right height, which you can see in the area where crew members are working. The dirt is flattened around the pillars, and then the concrete floor is poured. Of course, we're waiting to see those the footers for the roller coaster. That would be the next thing we're going to see in this construction, and we expect that to be very, very soon after this foundation work is done. Vacation Fun has been closed since October 20th at Disney's Hollywood Studios. It is now reopened without any perceivable changes. Of course, we think this was just closed to make way for necessary functions of the Jollywood Nights event, and now that that event is over, Vacation Fun, an original animated short with Mickey and Minnie, is playing once again at the Mickey Shorts Theater on Echo Lake. Additions continue to appear at the new Toy Story Land snack kiosk at Hollywood Studios. The kiosk, shaped like a popcorn box, has been under construction for a few months. Two currently blank signs have been added above two windows of the kiosk. They appear to be designed as pieces of scrap paper with a roughly torn edge at the bottom. There are also signs installed on the window ledge that have the same torn scrap paper design. These signs are not blank, however, they are too far away for us to decipher what's on them. A caution sign has been added to the employee entrance of the kiosk. It appears to be a carbon dioxide danger warning. We still do not know what will be offered here. We would assume popcorn. We think there's going to be more to this. Of course, all that backstage work that's been going on at Woody's Lunchbox has got to be connected to this. They need more prep space to prep whatever's going to go into this kiosk, but they're nearing completion. We thought for sure it'd be open for Christmas, maybe for New Year's. We'll see. On Monday, December 22nd, Twitch streamer Clix made streaming history with the first gaming broadcast from Walt Disney World, a Fortnite stream from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Hollywood Studios. Clix, Cody Conrad, is a popular Fortnite streamer with 8.5 million Twitch subscribers. The stream, which was sponsored by Disney as part of its ongoing partnership with Epic Games and Fortnite, was the finale of his annual Clixmas event, which consists of daily streams with challenges and giveaways, usually PCs and other gaming hardware, for his viewers. In this case, though, the grand prize was a VIP vacation to Walt Disney World. Clix had his full gaming setup in Batuu in front of the Millennium Falcon, where he was guarded by stormtroopers as he played, funny since he was dressed in a Jedi robe, and explored Galaxy's Edge, greeting fans. The 6-hour Fortnite campaign stream drew 412,000 live viewers. For the older people in the audience, like myself, if you're wondering why Disney is getting in bed with Fortnite and Epic Games, this is why. There is a whole lot of people in the world that this is relevant to, and I think this is only the beginning. Walt Disney Imagineering has filed a strange permit for demolition and construction at the Tree of Life at Disney's Animal Kingdom. However, we don't believe, obviously, that anything will be demolished. The notice of commencement calls upon Whiting Turner to complete facility demo, general construction, electrical, and area development at 745 West Savannah Circle, the official address of the Tree of Life. Though that much work is already a bit odd for a structure that recently opened a brand new attraction which is functioning already, what makes the permit stranger is the expiration date, which is December 30th, 2025. Usually permits last a year-ish, not only a couple of days. So there could be a typo, maybe it is. It's an official document, so it seems like a big error to make. But either way, I'll have to wait and see what this is for. I tend to think it has something to do with the netting and everything going on around the tree. Of course, they added way more nets in the queue of Zootopia Better Together, way more than were there for its stuff to be a bug. And some sections of the queue, even though the attraction is open, have been tarped, and there's clearly been work going on. There's also work going on at the back of the tree as well. I think it's all related to that. So maybe in a week's time, we'll see how this all turns out. Maybe the back path will finally open all the way through again. Say it with me, folks. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see. Crews are working quickly to turn Dinoland USA at Animal Kingdom into the new Tropical Americas. Over the past few weeks, we've seen progress on the new Encanto ride building. They've added concrete walls, additional steel beams, and more since our last update. Photographer BioReconstruct shared an aerial view of the construction site, including the ride building. In this image is the remains of Dinoland and the Tropical Americas construction zones. On the right is the Dinosaur Show building. The ride will close in February to be reimagined into the Indiana Jones attraction. Work has begun on the new carousel coming to Animal Kingdom as part of Tropical Americas. The carousel will go where the Boneyard used to be. It'll be part of the fictional Pueblo Esperanza village. The buildings at the lower left are Restaurantosaurus. The small construction site in front of the restaurant is where the Boneyard used to be as well, and of course cross the main pathway. Construction walls and a walkway separate that area from the larger construction zone that once housed Chester and Hester's Dinorama, including Triceratops Spin. At the back of the old carnival space is what was formerly a backstage area. The Encanto show building is rising. Based on the concrete outline on the ground, about 1/3 of the steel structure has been raised. Concrete flooring will be poured in the foundations later. The buildings at the top of the above photo are the old Dinosaur Treasures gift shop, which will be reused as part of the new land. The Encanto show building is set further back than the former edge of the land where Primeval World was. It goes beyond that space. Disney Lakeshore Lodge now has a Porte Cochere installed, in addition to other construction updates around the resort. The A-frame cabins that were located closer to the lodge appear more completed than the ones on Clementine Beach. Pictured here are the ones that crews have accomplished more work on, which have more roofing. However, some cabins in this area do not have the roofing installed. Many other A-frame cabins are just framed with a combination of wood and steel. Others are in the middle of the roofing process, with some progress made but not yet totally complete. It's estimated there will be at least 20 cabins throughout the resort. The big news this week is that a large structure has been installed at the front lobby of the resort, which will serve as the Porte Cochere. Right now, it is just framed out with the red steel, which is reinforced at the bottom with concrete. It's also covered in a blue tarp at the top. This large entrance is covered and will allow vehicles to pass through and drop off guests, of course. This will make it easy for guests checking in and out. Cranes and other equipment surround the area, and scaffolding is placed around the buildings. It has a unique design as seen in the concept art. You can already see the shape of it coming to life. Much of the rest of the resort is the same from our last update, with some buildings having sheathing and some not. And in some cases, a building may have a bit of both. It appears that a majority of the visible balconies have doors installed now and windows have been installed, but there are still some windows missing in places. Crew members are working on the upper areas of the buildings that have not progressed as quickly. The stairwells are not enclosed at this time. The progress in the back where the lazy river will go is steady, with more framework at the pool structure closest to the water. Portions of the resort are visible from Fort Wilderness. Pictures a view from Pioneer Hall area and the arcade. You can see it looming over. Disney Lakeshore Lodge is being built next to Fort Wilderness along Bay Lake on the former site of the defunct water park River Country. Disney's Typhoon Lagoon water park is closing for a few days this week due to cold weather. Typhoon Lagoon will be closed on December 30th and 31st for cold weather. Additionally, it will remain closed on January 1st, but is scheduled as of right now to reopen on January 2nd. Typhoon Lagoon is usually open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Earlier this month, we reported the possibility of a second Gideon's Bakehouse location coming to Disney Springs. The second location has now seemingly been confirmed, with artwork posted in the windows of the location. The former Art of Shaving is around the corner from Gideon's Bakehouse, but several businesses separate the two, so this wouldn't be a literal expansion of the current shop. This led us to believe it could be an additional location or a brand new venue by Lewis and the First Raven. Red and black artwork has been added behind the windows of the location. The art is in the traditional Gothic Gideon style and features various birds and what appear to be a crown and sword. This is not the typical Gideon's logo, so the new location again could be a totally different venture from the same people that brought you Gideon's. Again, nothing has been announced just yet. Merchandise featuring Disney World's 4 park icons is now available, and the collection features stylized versions of those icons in bright pastels. Among those items, there is a ear headband for $36.99, a Magic Band Plus for $44.99, a throw blanket for $69.99, a photo album for $24.99, and a mug for $19.99. There's probably more coming, so stay tuned to see it all. It's available at multiple locations property-wide. Disney will celebrate the 250th anniversary of America by participating in the 2026 Tournament of Roses Parade. Quote, the Walt Disney Company announced its participation in the 2026 Tournament of Roses Parade in Pasadena with its Disney Celebrates America entry, designed as a patriotic tribute to the nation's 250th anniversary. This entry celebrates the country's semi-quincentennial in uniquely Disney ways, leaning into the dreams, stories, and optimism that have touched the lives of people across the country and around the world for the past century. Mickey and friends will lead the procession in a Disneyland vehicle, which will be decorated with red, white, and blue flowers. More than 50 veterans who now serve as cast members and their families will join them. Each of the vibrant flowers on the car holds significance for military veterans. They include the red poppies, widely recognized as a symbol of remembrance for fallen military personnel, dating back to World War I. Other flowers featured in Disney's entry will include rosemaries, blue irises, white lilies, chrysanthemums, and red roses to express love, honor, and appreciation for veterans everywhere. Quote, the Walt Disney Company is proud to participate in the 2026 Tournament of Roses Parade as part of our Disney Celebrates America initiative, honoring our nation's 250th anniversary, said Bob Iger. Both Disney and the Tournament of Roses Parade have long celebrated the spirit of America and the people who make it extraordinary, including our service members, veterans, and their families. By featuring our own veteran cast members, we're excited to kick off the year at this iconic event and share the Disney magic that connects generations. ABC will broadcast live coverage of the 2026 parade on January 1st, beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. The 2-hour broadcast will be hosted by ESPN SportsCenter anchors Kevin Negandhi and Hannah Storm, both returning to the event, along with longtime reporter John Neighbor. 2 permits have been filed for the new 3.2 million square foot east parking structure coming to the Disneyland Resort. The structure is part of Disneyland Forward, officially announced earlier this year, but teased back in 2023. The plan is similar to the Eastern Gateway project, which was announced back in 2016 but never came to fruition. The Pixar Palace parking structure was built instead. Both permits are for 1585 South Manchester Avenue, which is currently a cast member parking lot across Harbor Boulevard from the Disneyland Resort. It will become a new entrance to the resort, which will include a pedestrian bridge to cross Harbor Boulevard, leading to a new Esplanade arrival experience. The permit is for plumbing and mechanical, install on-site utilities, and an east parking structure. The 3.2 million square foot garage will be 8 levels and have 302 electrical vehicle chargers. The structure will have spaces for 6,000 vehicles, a dedicated space for shuttles and ride sharing, security, and dedicated access for traffic off of Disney Way. Construction is scheduled to begin in the fall of 2026. For the first time since 2019, the Disneyland Railroad is running 4 trains at once. This was once the standard but was suspended due to the COVID-19 pandemic and then delayed by the New Orleans Square station fire in 2022. For years, only 2 trains ran at the same time. In late 2023, 3 trains began running simultaneously during busy times. The 2022 fire was centered on the telegraph office, which was ultimately demolished, but the water tower was also affected. The water tower has finally been repaired and can be used to fill the steam engines once again, allowing more trains to run at once. After announcing that Bluey and Bingo would be coming to the parks and Disney Cruise Line next year, Disney has aired their first new commercial featuring the popular characters for Disneyland. The commercial premiered during the 2025 Disney Parks Magical Christmas Day Parade on ABC. Themed to making special family memories, the commercial features moments at the Disneyland Resort captured in film strip-style frames. One of the core memories is a mom and daughter who's holding a Bluey plush going to meet Bluey and Bingo. Starting March 22nd, 2026, Disneyland will celebrate Bluey's best day ever in the Fantasyland Theater, which will be transformed into the grounds of Bluey's school. Throughout the day, Bluey and her sister Bingo will appear live on stage, joining a troupe of comedic actors and musicians for an interactive performance aimed at young families and guests of all ages. The end date of the Haunted Mansion holiday and a return date for the regular Haunted Mansion have both been shared on the Disneyland website. The attraction is currently operating in its fan favorite Nightmare Before Christmas overlay. Although the ride's webpage on the Disneyland website says the holiday theme will last through January 7th, the page calendar seems to suggest that Haunted Mansion Holiday will actually run through January 12th. Jumping over to the webpage for the standard Haunted Mansion, the reopening date appears to be January 23rd. Disney has not announced this outside of the website at this point, so things can change, but it seems likely. Meanwhile, according to the Disneyland website, It's a Small World holiday will close on Monday, January 26th. The holiday festivities at Disneyland Resort are scheduled to end on January 7th. However, upon closer inspection of the Small World webpage, it appears the ride will remain operational well past that date. A calendar indicates that you'll be able to ride It's a Small World holiday through much of January from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. until at least Sunday, January 25th. We don't know, again, when It's a Small World holiday is going to go away, but it seems like at least it's going to be later in January. Disneyland Resort has released the calendar of Paint the Night Electrical Parade performances for its 2026 return. As previously announced, Paint the Night will be back on January 30th. Fridays through Sundays, the parade will run twice nightly at 8:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. It will perform at just 8:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Excluding special events, it will run 7 days a week. A video captured a fight breaking out among several adults in line for Radiator Springs Racers during the rainy Christmas holiday weekend at California Adventure. The video by Foo's Gone Disney, taken during the stormy Christmas holiday weekend, shows several guests in ponchos in the racers' queue. And while there's no audible context for the conflict, we would infer that someone tried cutting the line or something of the sort, which usually happens. A scuffle breaks out among a group of 5 guests, with 2 men ending up on the ground, while another man in a blue poncho restrains a woman in a red sweatshirt. Overlaid on the video is the text, "Happiest place on earth." No word on if they were arrested by the Carburetor County Sheriff's Office, or, we don't know. That's a joke. Carburetor County's not a real place. Anyway, don't fight people in a queue or at a Disney park, and especially not over the holidays, please. Did you know there's a way you could save big at the Disney Deluxe Resorts? Well, today's show is brought to you by DVC Rental Store, a great way for you to plan a luxury Disney vacation on a modest budget. You don't need to sign up for a full DVC contract, but instead, they'll allow you to rent the points you need for a magical stay. It's really the best way to stay deluxe at a fraction of the cost. And now, thanks to their lowest price guaranteed offer, you'll always have the best price on the market. The rooms are discounted sometimes up to 75%, and they have the largest member inventory for points, so there's a lot to choose from. You can search their availability for free right now, which is not something all companies offer. And if you do choose to book, they have a great cancellation policy and a low down payment. DVC Rental Store is the #1 DVC rental company in the U.S. and one we've used many times over, way before they were a sponsor of this show. So head to our description to check them out. The old Serenity Bay Barbecue at Disney Cruise Line's private island Castaway Cay has closed, and the new barbecue restaurant is open. Serenity Bay is the island's adults-only area, the adults-only beach, and construction has been underway for months on the new dining pavilion and the nearby Mickey and Minnie Cove cabanas. The former barbecue spot, which was called Air Bay Barbecue or simply Serenity Bay Barbecue, is still visible but surrounded by green scrim. Hangar 98 Barbecue, the new building, matches the Castaway Air theming throughout the island, but particularly around Serenity Bay. The beach is located at the end of the island's old airstrip, which we'll learn all about on our cruise in September, folks. The number 98 is a reference to the launch year of the first Disney Cruise Line ship, the Disney Magic. And while the former barbecue was an open-air pavilion, the new one is an enclosed building, although the seating is still outside. It's a blue and green building with the Hangar 98 Barbecue logo on the side and the front. The metal sign is purposefully faded with faux rusting. Hangar Barbecue is open from 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. exclusively to guests ages 18 and older, although there is another side that is open to guests who are at the Mickey and Minnie Cabanas, which just opened recently as well. It's worth noting that the space is very well themed, much more themed than the previous barbecue. Inside there are flags and propeller props and all sorts of cool things. Guests sailing on the first month of inaugural Disney Adventure Voyages will receive a physical copy of the special edition first issue of Amazing Adventures, the ship's exclusive comic. The Disney Adventures maiden voyage begins on March 10, 2026. All guests sailing in March of 2026 will receive a physical copy of the original 32-page comic. The comic will continue to be available for purchase during the first year of sailings. Cover art was revealed a month ago, but the comic is a collaboration between Disney Cruise Line and Marvel. It's created by award-winning writer Alyssa Wong, artist Laniel Francis Yu, and editor-in-chief C.B. Cebulski, with penciler Ron Lim. It will feature the regional Marvel superheroes of Jitter from Singapore and Wave from the Philippines on a mission across the Disney adventure. The It's a Small World with Groot overlay is returning to Tokyo Disneyland, and visitors can enjoy a new original digital comic inspired by the ride. The comic is called It's a Small World with Groot on the Move and will be available on the Tokyo Disney Resort app. Tokyo Disneyland guests can read the comic book after they've entered the park by enabling location services, Bluetooth, and push notifications. The app will then display the comic when guests join the It's a Small World with Groot queue. You can watch our POV of the It's a Small World with Groot attraction from last year right here on the channel. It's a trip, man. I loved it, though. I thought I was going to hate it. I thought it was spectacular. There are currently 12 Disney theme parks across 6 global resorts, with a 13th planned in Abu Dhabi. But in a report by Lifestyle Asia, yet another Disney park might be built in Thailand. The Thai government had previously explored the opportunity to build an entertainment complex proposal that included a casino, but now they have pivoted to the idea of bringing a world-class theme park, potentially Disneyland, to the country. The updated plan centers on the Eastern Economic Corridor, with officials instructed to look for suitable land across 4 different provinces. Alongside a major theme park, plans also include a new international stadium with a capacity of 80,000 seats, aimed at hosting global sports events and large-scale concerts. Together, these projects are being positioned as magnet attractions that could draw both tourists and investors into the eastern region, while also giving Thailand something big and family-friendly outside of Bangkok. Of course, the timing of this isn't accidental, as long-delayed infrastructure projects such as a high-speed rail are back in focus for the country. Officials believe attractions like a Disneyland-level theme park would make the case for these mega investments far more compelling. This plan, however, is not confirmed and is now simply in the idea stage. Of course, it doesn't mean they've spoken to Disney. It doesn't mean that Disney has planned anything yet. It just means that something like a Disneyland, in some cases that becomes Disneyland, is being thought of. Of course, this has happened. This happened in 1983 in Japan, in Tokyo. Of course, OLC wanted something at the end of the train line to make people ride the train, and that became the Tokyo Disney Resort. And this would be a very similar idea here. So will there be yet another Disney park on the horizon? Say it with me, we'll have to wait and see. For the absolute latest on these stories and all that didn't make it into today's show, be sure to check WDWNT.com and follow us on your favorite social media platforms. You can support the entire team behind this show and others by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, and more. Special shout out to our WIGS members who make this show happen every single week. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying, enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.